Welcome to our summary of Thinking in Systems by Donella H. Meadows. In this book, Donella Meadows explains how systems work in a way that's easy to understand. She shows that a system isn't just a bunch of random parts. It's a whole, connected unit where every piece has a role and works together. Meadows challenges the idea that outside forces are the main things driving how a system behaves. Instead, she points out that it's the system's internal structure and feedback loops that really matter. At the start, Meadows introduces us to how the parts of a system interact, helping us see why systems act the way they do. This makes us rethink how complex systems work and prepares us to notice the unexpected results that often come from within these systems. As the book goes on, Meadows breaks down the basic parts that make up a system and explains how these parts work together. She talks about the main elements of any system, the individual parts, the connections between them, and the system's overall purpose. She also introduces the ideas of stocks and flows. Stocks are like containers that hold resources or information, and flows are what fill or empty these containers. How these interact determines how the system responds to changes inside and outside of it. A big focus of the book is on feedback loops, which play a crucial role in controlling these responses. Meadows explains two main types: balancing loops, which try to keep things steady by pushing back against changes, and reinforcing loops, which can lead to fast growth or big declines. The way these loops interact creates complex and sometimes surprising behaviors, showing how systems can adjust, adapt, and change over time. Meadows also talks about the importance of delays in systems. Delays in getting information or taking action can have a big impact on how a system behaves, sometimes causing swings, overshoots, or even breakdowns. These delays can make systems react too slowly or to old information, leading to results that might not make sense at first. This part of the book gives readers simple tools to understand how systems are put together and how their parts interact to create different behaviors. Meadows emphasizes the importance of understanding feedback loops, how stocks and flows work together, and the effect of delays. With this knowledge, readers can better spot where they can make a difference in systems and gain a deeper understanding of how systems work and how to manage them effectively. As we go further into the book, Meadows looks at how systems and people interact, focusing on three key traits: resilience, self-organization, and hierarchy. These traits are important for how well a system works and how it adapts. Resilience is the system's ability to handle disruptions and bounce back. Meadows uses examples like the human immune system and how species interact in ecosystems to explain resilience. However, she warns that resilience has limits. If a system's ability to fix itself is overwhelmed, it might not recover. This is why it's important to manage systems carefully to keep them healthy over time. When talking about self-organization, Meadows shows how it allows systems to change and improve in response to new conditions. This can be seen in nature, like in the patterns of snowflakes, and in human progress, like technology. While self-organization can make systems more complex and adaptable, it can also disrupt existing structures and cause resistance. Finally, Meadows discusses hierarchy, where smaller subsystems within larger systems help manage and organize processes. This setup reduces information overload and helps things run more smoothly, but it can also lead to problems. If one part of the system focuses too much on its own goals, it might cause issues for the whole system. Meadows then addresses the unexpected behaviors of systems, often due to our limited understanding and the complexity of the world. She explains that our simple ways of thinking about reality are often wrong, leading to mistakes and misunderstandings. The complex relationships and delays within systems make things even harder, causing unpredictable behaviors and making it tough to control or predict how systems will act. She introduces the idea of bounded rationality, which means that decisions within systems are often limited by the information we have and our personal biases. This can lead to less than perfect results for the system as a whole. Meadows stresses that it's important to set clear boundaries for a system to avoid missing important outside factors or creating situations that are too complicated to manage. This part of the book helps us understand why systems succeed or fail and shows us that managing them well requires careful balance. It encourages us to keep learning and adjusting, which is essential for dealing with the complexities of connected systems and for creating environments that support long-term sustainability and human well-being. As the book continues, Meadows talks about the negative side of system behaviors, which she calls archetypes. These are common patterns of behavior that, if left alone, can cause systems to become dysfunctional and inefficient. Instead of just pointing out these problems, Meadows gives practical advice on how to escape and avoid them, highlighting the importance of good system design and being proactive. She starts with policy resistance, where different goals within a system clash, leading to a standstill. Meadows suggests that the solution is to use more flexible strategies, improve communication among everyone involved, and redefine goals to better meet the needs of the whole system. She then talks about the tragedy of the commons, where people acting in their own self-interest can drain shared resources. Solutions include teaching people about the impact of their actions, privatizing resources, or setting up rules to manage how they are used. Meadows also examines drift to low performance, a downward trend where lower standards lead to even lower expectations and efforts. She argues that keeping high standards or setting goals based on past achievements can help reverse this trend. In escalation, competition among participants in a system can spiral out of control, similar to an arms race. Meadows suggests that opting out of competition or setting up checks and balances can help stop this from happening. The success to the successful archetype describes how early advantages can build on themselves, leading to a situation where the successful become more successful, while those less successful fall further behind. Introducing limits, creating more opportunities, and ensuring fair competition can help balance things out. Lastly, shifting the burden to the intervener happens when relying on quick fixes stops the real problems from being addressed, leading to more dependence on temporary solutions. Meadows advocates for long-term strategies that enhance the system's ability to solve its own problems. Meadows makes it clear that these traps are not because of individual failures, but are due to bad system designs that create harmful feedback loops. By understanding and fixing these loops, setting long-term goals, and making sure information flows well, we can make better decisions that improve the overall health of the system. The main message is important. By understanding how these system traps work, we can redesign our systems to be more sustainable and efficient. This means focusing on long-term health rather than quick fixes, encouraging open communication, and always being ready to learn and adapt. By taking this broader approach, we can not only avoid potential crises, but also strengthen the resilience and functionality of our systems. In the fifth part of the book, Meadows explores leverage points, which are specific areas within a system where a small change can make a big difference in how the system behaves. She explains that the key to making effective changes in systems is finding and using these leverage points, which requires a deep understanding of the system's goals, the beliefs that shape it, and how information moves within it. Meadows provides a list of possible leverage points, ranked by their impact. These range from simple adjustments in settings to bigger changes in feedback loops, rules, and how the system organizes itself. However, she notes that the most powerful leverage points are often found in the system's core, the goals and beliefs that define it. While these deeper points offer the greatest potential for big changes, they are also the hardest to change because they are so deeply rooted. The discussion then moves to the challenges and opportunities of changing the deep beliefs and assumptions, known as paradigms, that shape how we see and interact with the world. Meadows explains that shifting these paradigms, while powerful, often requires confronting entrenched beliefs and overcoming resistance from society. To make these shifts happen, it's important to highlight the flaws in current ways of thinking, clearly show the benefits of new ideas, and support those who are leading the change. Meadows also introduces the idea of going beyond paradigms. This means recognizing that no single way of seeing the world is perfect, and staying open-minded, or, as she calls it, embracing not knowing. This mindset allows people to be more flexible and adaptable, choosing the best approach for each situation. By going beyond paradigms, Meadows suggests, people can feel more empowered, freeing themselves from the need to stick to just one belief system. This part of the book serves as a guide for making changes in systems. It stresses the need to look deeper into systems, not just at the surface, to find the best places to make a difference. By challenging and changing the core beliefs that drive systems, we can create big, lasting changes. Meadows encourages us to see systems as connected and constantly changing. She shows that small, thoughtful actions can lead to significant, lasting improvements. This way of thinking helps us tackle the complex problems in our world and build systems that are strong, sustainable, and beneficial for everyone. In the final part of Thinking in Systems, Meadows offers practical advice on dealing with the complexities of interconnected systems. Instead of just trying to predict and control systems, she suggests a more holistic and adaptable approach that takes into account the subtle details and changes within systems. Meadows shares several key principles to help us better understand and work with systems. She emphasizes the importance of recognizing the natural patterns of systems and suggests that we spend time observing and learning about them before trying to change anything. Tools like time graphs can help us track a system's behavior and trends, making sure our actions are based on facts rather than guesses. Being clear and open about our thinking is also very important. By sharing our assumptions and being open to feedback, we can improve our understanding, which is crucial in a world where systems are always changing. Meadows also highlights the need for information to flow freely, as this is key to keeping systems healthy and preventing breakdowns. Effective communication about systems should use clear language that reflects systems thinking. Terms like feedback, resilience, and capacity should be part of our everyday conversations to help us better understand complex systems. Meadows also encourages us to value both measurable data and the things that can't be easily measured, like fairness and honesty, which can sometimes be overshadowed by numbers. Policies that can adapt to new information and changing conditions are essential for navigating systems. Meadows argues that the overall health of the system should always come first, even above individual parts, to ensure stability and well-being. Listening to the natural wisdom within systems is key to aligning our actions with their natural tendencies, rather than working against them. Designing systems that promote accountability, where decision-makers experience the effects of their choices, encourages responsible and sustainable practices. Meadows also calls for humility and continuous learning as we work with systems that often behave in unexpected ways. She encourages us to appreciate the complexity and richness of systems, avoid oversimplifying them, and think about long-term impacts and connections across different areas. She urges us to care not just about our own needs, but also about the wider community and the planet. By upholding high ethical standards and striving for goodness, even when it's hard, we can make a positive difference. In the end, Meadows redefines systems thinking as a way to focus not on controlling systems, but on understanding them, imagining a better future, and working together to create it. This approach combines logical thinking with intuition and ethics, helping us engage with the complexities of the world in a respectful and dynamic way. By following these principles, we learn to dance with the rhythms of systems, adjusting our actions based on their changing needs and signals. This thoughtful way of interacting with systems allows us to navigate the world with both careful analysis and a strong sense of vision, compassion, and commitment to sustainable progress, better preparing us to handle the unpredictable nature of complex systems. In the final chapters, Donella Meadows shares a clear vision for how we can handle the world's tough problems by using systems thinking. She explains that instead of trying to control everything, we should work together and be more flexible. This change in approach is key to dealing with the complicated and often unpredictable challenges we face, all while aiming to build a future that is sustainable and fulfilling for everyone. Meadows sums up the main ideas of systems thinking, pulling together the important lessons and strategies she has shared throughout the book. She shows that systems thinking isn't just a theory. It's a practical tool we can use to solve many of the challenges we face today, whether they're environmental, social, economic, or something else. The way systems are connected and how feedback loops work often lead to unexpected results, creating patterns that can harm both people and the planet. By using systems thinking, we can look deeper than the obvious problems and find the root causes. This deeper understanding helps us spot important leverage points, specific areas in a system where small, focused actions can make a big, lasting difference. Meadows points out that to really make progress, we need to move away from simple cause and effect thinking and start seeing the bigger picture of how everything is connected. Her message is clear and hopeful. Use systems thinking to make positive changes. Meadows encourages us to become more aware of how everything is linked, to understand how feedback and delays play a role, and to realize that problems are often more complicated than they seem. By changing our approach from trying to control everything to working together, and from seeing things separately to understanding their connections, we can better predict, adapt to, and shape the future. The main takeaway is that everyone should get involved in making a better future. This means carefully designing and always improving systems that not only last over time, but also support the well-being of people and the environment. Meadows believes that systems thinking helps us imagine a better world and gives us the tools to make that vision a reality. By taking on this approach, we commit to constantly learning, adapting, and taking deliberate actions to build a world that values resilience, sustainability, and shared prosperity. If you enjoyed this summary, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you insightful book summaries and practical advice. Stay tuned for more content that can help you reach your financial goals and grow personally. Thanks for watching.